morning. Welcome back to the Moore Army podcast for another episode. It's Thursday morning already. I can't believe it's Thursday. This week has been by so quickly. I mean, it's been 2 days since I spoke to you, and I just battered an eyelash 2 days ago, and I'm here Thursday from Tuesday. It's just crazy the way time flies by so quickly, especially when you're so busy as well. But anyway, yes, good morning. Oh, I tell you what though, here the temperature's quite dropped, hasn't it? I don't know where you are in the world right now, but where I am, the last couple of days, I've been starting to feel a wee bit of a chill in the air. So I have, but that's just to show you it's September. We had a bit of a sunny period there the last couple of days, which everybody was loving because everybody was out and about and enjoying the sunshine and stuff. But just got up there this morning to quite the back this morning and put some rubbish in the bin and whatever, and just felt a wee bit of a cold sort of nip this morning. I thought, something, that's definitely the winter round the corner. Definitely lovely blue skies this morning where I am, but it's still very chilly. But anyway, yes guys, good morning, welcome back to the Moore Army podcast for another episode. How you all doing? Hope you've all had a good week so far. Thank you for everybody who tuned into the last episode. Last Tuesday, if you haven't listened to it, go and check it out. It is available on all the platforms as usual. It's been a funny few days for me. Busy few days between working and house clearance and just everything in general going on. But yes, it's been a good week. This week it's been a positive week for the Moore family, for the Moore household especially, because we've been doing a lot of clearing out of the home and more. But before we go any further in the episode today, guys, I like to get this out of the way as I always do every week, or every episode, here on the Moore Army podcast. If you would like to get in touch with the program for future episodes, or you'd like to get in touch with us about anything at all, whether it be a question or a suggestion for the show or whatever it is you want to hear me talk about here on the podcast, you can get in touch with me by the following methods. The email address for any questions at all, which is moorearmypodcast@yahoo.com. That's moorearmypodcast@yahoo.com. Also, social media, where you can contact me on Instagram, which is official Matthew Moore on Instagram. You can contact me on Reels, but I'm not really posting much on Reels. I must try and get my finger and get sorted on Reels. Also, if you want to contact me on Facebook, you can contact the Moore Army YouTube channel Facebook page, which if you haven't checked out my vlogs, you can go and check them out on YouTube, which is Moore Army YouTube channel. If you're listening to me on YouTube right now here, on the Moore Army YouTube channel YouTube page, don't forget to subscribe on this and drop a like on this video if you're listening to the podcast. But you can check out the Moore Army YouTube channel Facebook page. Please drop a like on it. Drop us a message, as a lot of people do every week, and check out all our posts and photographs and whatnot. And also, if you want to get in touch with us by the website, you can go and watch. Basically, it's the Moore Army Hub, where you can check out all the previous videos from all our YouTube channels. You can listen to the podcast. You can buy merchandise for the podcast and also buy merch from the YouTube channel as well. And check out all our social media posts and our newbie social media hub that we created on the website there a few days ago, which is moorearmy.co.uk. That's moorearmy.co.uk. Also, before I go on today, guys, I've decided to post these podcasts on the Facebook page. So if you're listening to it on the Facebook page, hello, I'm going to start posting the podcasts on the Facebook page as well. So if you're listening to me on Facebook, hello, share this video with everybody. And don't forget to drop a like on it. I would appreciate it. It means a lot. Guys, before we go into anything I want to talk about today, next week's is a very special week for the Moore Army podcast, because next week we are celebrating our 1 year anniversary of being on the air. I know. Our first episode was posted on the 20th of September 2022. Now, I know we did do a podcast a few years ago, which we posted on the Moore Army YouTube channel. It was lasted about 8 or 9 episodes. It wasn't overly great, but we're now established here on the Moore Army podcast now. We're actually celebrating our first year anniversary next week. I can't believe it's been a year since I was starting to record podcasts. But if you want to get any questions in, or any favourite episodes you want to talk about, or anything at all you would like to hear on next week's episode, please get in contact with us. I'm going to be plastering it all over social media over the next few days. The Moore Army podcast is 1 year old. It's technically next Wednesday, but we're going to do a birthday special on Tuesday next week. So get in touch. I would love to hear from you next Tuesday for the Moore. I'm going to be plastering it all over social media over the next few days. We're 1 year old already. I can't believe it's been 1 year since I sat my ass down here and recorded this podcast. It's been a year, and I've loved it because I've been listening to all your questions and your stories and all your bits and bobs over the last year. I've been talking about all different things that's been going on in the world. That's been going on since the last year. How crazy the world is we're in right now. We did start off a year ago with on a Tuesday as a family-friendly podcast, and then Thursday being the Unleashed version, where I can sort of be a bit more myself and swear occasionally, whatever. But you guys obviously preferred an Unleashed podcast, so we do two Unleashed podcasts now, which is excellent because I love speaking to you more freely. Now, don't get me wrong, I enjoy doing the family-friendly episodes as well because I could speak more, but I still get some people come in now and again and say to me, oh, there's like young ones listening to your podcast. Well, when it's posted, it does say this does contain extreme explicit language sometimes as well, and hence why the podcast is now called Unleashed. So yous were asked, yous voted, and this is the way the podcast is now. And I do get a lot of messages from people saying to me all the time, enjoy listening to podcasts because we get to see a different side of you compared to the YouTube channel, because on the YouTube channel, obviously, guys, you have certain restrictions where you can say certain things as well, because our channel is more for families compared to a lot of YouTubers out there who use, more explicit content and stuff, but we try and keep our YouTube channel to be more family friendly and stuff. So, but that's why this podcast is created as well, for me to be more free and speak more free. You know what I mean? So, by the way, yes, guys, next Tuesday is the 1 year anniversary of the Moore Army podcast. I can't believe it's been a year. It's fucking crazy. Like, where has this year gone to? It's insane. But anyway, yes, I'd love to hear from you all for next week. So, get in touch and let us know your favourite memories of the first year for the podcast. Any questions, any suggestions moving forward, and more. So, in today's episode, I'm going to obviously have a wee chat about what I've been up to and stuff. Got a couple of things I want to bring up today. We've also got the Jackass of the Week on the podcast today as well. So we've got quite a few things to go through today here on the episode. It's been a bit of a crazy few days for me since the last time I spoke to you. You know what it's like, when you've got it's just, when you have teenage kids, sometimes it can be very fucking stressful, trust me. The last few days we've been sort of doing a bit of a clear out of our house and stuff, and since Tuesday we've been doing a bit of a clear out. We've been sort of like clearing out old furniture and just basically doing a whole could you say even the refit of the fucking house. Has been crazy. Brooke and Lewis are now my kids are now at the stage where they're older now, and obviously they need their rooms a bit of a freshen up and stuff. So obviously my bedroom needs a bit of a freshen up too as well. I'm going to be doing a bit of painting and paper on a wall and laying a new floor and stuff in my bedroom over the next week or so. And with Brooke and Lewis, obviously they're a wee bit older now, so I'm going to be ripping their rooms apart and making them more modern and stuff. And because obviously, they're 14, nearly 18 now. It's just time goes by so bloody quick. So this last couple of days we've been sort of like ripping out old furniture, breaking it up, clearing out gardens, clearing out the house, clearing it out all around. It's just been crazy. We ended up having to hire a skip to get all the stuff put into. The skip's now currently it arrived yesterday, and within 3 hours it was filled with crap that we don't need no more. But no, it's very therapeutic, I must say, whenever you're clearing out shit from your house, when you decide to have a clear out. Anybody who follows my YouTube channel for years knows we have a downstairs room that at the very start we used to use as a wee sort of like a wee snug room we used to go into and like chill out and watch TV and hang out and whatever else. But then I turned it into a bit of a bedroom for a while. I was using it as a bedroom for a while because whenever I was with Sandra at the time, her daughter would come and stay, so she would use that as a bedroom to stay over. And then obviously it became a storage room. But yesterday I literally ripped it apart. I'm going to turn it into Well, there's either a flip up of a coin between turning it into an extra bedroom, or Lewis has been badgering me for months, because Lewis the last couple of months has been doing a lot of working out. He's been I think I've ever talked about this on the YouTube channel. He's been doing a lot of working out. He's been doing a lot of weight training. He's been doing a lot of exercising, and he's trying to get himself into shape, which is fair play to him. Like, he could be doing worse things. But he's been badgering me for a long time, saying, "Daddy, could we turn that into a bit of a training room where I can go to a wee gym and do a bit of workout and stuff like that there?" I was like, okay. And then I asked Brooke for her opinion, and she was kind of like, well, I don't really mind, to be honest with you, because I was going to turn it into a teenage room where, the teenagers can go and hang out and watch movies and do whatever else. Because, like, whenever Brooke comes here with her boyfriend, they sit in my living room, and they're sort of like, not that I've got a problem with them coming and sitting in the living room, but sometimes when the teenagers want to be on their own, you're kind of getting kicked out of your own fucking living room, and it's kind of like, right, they need to go somewhere. So I thought maybe turn it into a wee teenage room for them to go and hang out and watch TV, and maybe put a wee small mini fridge in there for them to keep their cold drinks and all in it. And then I thought, right, okay. And then I said to Brooke, well, and then she's like, well, she's always doing her own thing now. So I said to her, like, do you want to do this or not? And she was like, no, I don't know, Dad. Now it's like, but then Lewis is in the other ear, and he's badgering me, Dad, turn it into a small gym. I want somewhere to go and work out and stuff. So I don't know. I emptied the room yesterday, and I've got a few things to decide what I'm going to do with it over the next couple of weeks. So I am. So we'll just have to wait and see. But no, it's great to do a bit of a clear out. You know, it's like, guys, whenever you got your own home and you need to do a clear out, but see, whenever you get it done and you get rid of all that crap, it's just like, oh, it's so good to get rid of all that shit out of your house, and it's like, oh, it's so therapeutic. Now, even though the skip is full, I still got more to do. I mean, today at some point I'm going to have to go upstairs, and because my own bedroom personally, what I need to do in my bedroom is just basically give the door a bit of a touch-up paint, to touch up the skirting boards. I've got a main feature wall behind behind the bed. Just going to give it a new lease of life, a bit of wallpaper, a bit of design, a couple of pictures and stuff like that there, and put a new floor in. Maybe put in a new set of bedside lockers, which was looking at some cool ones online, actually some really cool trendy ones. So I just want to give it a bit of a freshen up, you know what I mean? But most importantly, I want to get the rooms for the kids sorted, because, I mean, they're obviously older now and stuff, and God knows how much longer Brooke's going to be living here. And that's really scary to even think about that, because, I mean, she's 18 this year, and God knows what age she's going to move out. I was actually winding her up yesterday. I mean, you know something, Brooke, you'll probably still be here when you're 30. And she went, no. She says, by the time I'm 30, Daddy, I'll be married and having babies. I mean, how will you be having babies with your daddy's away? With your daddy's in the loony bin house or something. Now your daddy's no longer here, and then have babies. But you don't want grandkids, Dad? And I'm like, yeah, I do. But not just yet. I then I thought about it on the other side. I was on the phone with Mum last night, and I was telling her, and she was like, you know something? She says, at least with your grandkids, you can hand them back. And I went, that's a good point. But I don't even want to think that far ahead, to be honest, because I'm already feeling old as it is. But anyway, yeah, I was sort of like ripping the house apart over the last couple of days and renovating and doing different bits and bobs. And I've actually got a wee vlog coming out here over the next few. I actually did post a vlog yesterday, guys, from the weekend, as I did say on Tuesday's podcast. I did post a recent vlog where Lewis and I were in Londonderry, whatever you want to call it. Got some more footage to show. Now, I did post stuff on my Instagram yesterday where I got a new thing that I've been saving up for recently. If you want to go on my Instagram, you can check out a photo shoot that I done with Brooke with it yesterday as well. I bought myself a new championship wrestling belt. Cost a few pennies, but it was worth saving for. When I go to my social media pages, you can see the photo shoot that I done with Brooke last night. Also, I forgot to mention to you as well, I'm posting more videos on TikTok, by the way, as well. I posted 2 TikToks yesterday. A wee funny skit video that Brooke and Lewis made with, I don't know why he's not living in the UK here or not, but there's a company called Confused.com where they had this advertisements and television adverts for years where they had this wee robot guy called Brian the Robot. Brooke and Lewis has had one of them robots for years, and they done a wee funny skit yesterday where the robot was sneaking into the room to stalk Brooke, and it was jumping on top of Brooke to attack Brooke. It was just like, what's going on? I posted that on TikTok, plus I posted photos of Brooke's photo shoot, so I'm going to be posting more TikToks probably over the weekend as well. But you can follow me on TikTok, official Matthew Moore on TikTok as well, guys. I know you're probably thinking to yourself, you're 42 and you're on TikTok, what are you playing at? I just said to the kids, something that's going to be a bit of fun, screw it, let's make some funny videos. Try and spice it up a wee bit and change it up a wee bit. So if you want to go on to TikTok, guys, you can check out my videos on TikTok. You can also see me standing there from last Saturday at football, dancing like a complete tit. I think I posted it on Instagram too. The football and kids have drove me that mad. They ended up standing in the middle of the Brandywell pitch in Derry City's football ground, lost in the plot and dancing around like a complete tit. So if you want to go and check that out, it's available on my Instagram and it's available on my TikTok. Football's finally got to me. But anyway, yes, that's been sort of been up to the last couple of days. It's just been chaotic and just non-stop, and I'm just glad to be sitting down here this morning for an hour so to have a wee coffee and have a wee chat with you guys and see what you've been up to and answer some of your questions and whatever else. So, but no, it's nice to have a wee bit of a break this morning as we speak right now. I'm recording this podcast at 9 a.m. Brooke is currently still sleeping. So she's currently off, has a day off today between her wee part-time job and obviously her school and tech and courses, whatever else she's doing, and all her studies and all that there. So yeah, I'll not be seeing much of her today, to be honest with you, because I think she's busy afterwards this afternoon. So this is the thing about having a teenage daughter now, you never really see her very much now. But Lewis is up this morning away to school as usual. Just usual typical grumpy self on a Thursday morning. But Thursday's a good day for me, as you all my regular listeners know. Today is a very good day for me because today is my day. As you all know, it's beer day today. Today is beer day. As you all know, I always sit down on a Thursday night and have a few beers and switch off from the world. But to be quite honest with you, I'm actually considering taking myself out tonight because there's this thing going on in Bangor at the minute. And anybody who lives in Bangor listening to my podcast probably is. There's probably quite a few. And people beyond. There's a place in Bangor called the Goat's Toe, and on a Thursday night they do this like bingo thing for adults where it's like where they all gather together. Here's the thing, it looks a really good night because I've had a lot of people who go to it. I know a lot of people who've went to it and they said it's been good crack. There's like what do you call them type of fellas that dress as girls? I can't remember the name of the drag queens. There's a drag queen on that does the announcing of the bingo numbers and all that. There's bingo and a bit of crack and funny, live music and all that stuff. And I've been watching it for a couple of months now on social media, and it seems a good crack. And there's a mate of mine who's very, very old school, doesn't like gay people, doesn't like people who dress up in different things, transgenders, all that there stuff, and lesbians and gays and all that there. He's very, very old school. And I always say to him, you're a bit odd, just let people be themselves. He goes, oh no, I know. His wife dragged him down to that one night, and then the next day on Facebook he posted it up on his Facebook page saying I had one of the best nights ever. And I actually sent him a message saying, I thought you didn't like all that. And he went, oh no. He says, no, it was good crack, it was laugh, it was good, it was brilliant, I had a good laugh, and the wife won some money in the bingo and all. It was a good laugh. He's very, very old school guy. He's very, very old school. I know I am old school sometimes, but he's really old school. Don't know why he doesn't like people like that, because at the end of the day, you know me guys, I've always said in this podcast, be yourself, no matter what you are, what walk of life you have. But this thing on in Bangor Town, and it's on the night there, so I was thinking to myself, maybe, I always just sit here on a Thursday night and a few beers, and Tony comes round sometimes, and, I would just hang out with Lewis and hang out with Tony and just chill out and sometimes have a few wee tiddlies too many. And I was thinking to myself, maybe I'd just change it up a wee bit this Thursday and just sort of head into town for a wee bit and even go down for an hour or so just to check out what the crack is well this year, because there seem to be a lot of people going from all different age groups and all different walks of life. So I was thinking to myself, maybe I could go down there tonight and have a good crack and laugh, and maybe you can get a wee vlog out of it as well. Maybe I can go down there and do a bit of vlogging, show you all you guys like what it's like. But I'm sort of sitting here this morning debating what to do. Should I go? Should I not go? And I was talking to Brooke about it yesterday, and she's like, Dad, just go. Just go out, even for an hour or two, just go. And maybe I don't want to go on my own. And she said, well, get Uncle Tony to go with you. And I thought, well, if Uncle Tony doesn't go, I can't really go on my own. She said, well, Dad, just go down your own anyway. Who cares? You'll meet new people down there anyway. See, I'm the type of person, I would travel on my own. As you probably see in my YouTube videos, I would do things on my own. It doesn't bother me. But way I look at it is, if you're kind of local and you're going out your local area on your own, but then the way I look at it as well, for two sides of the coin as well, I could go out and meet new people and, sort of open open myself up a bit more and get out there more and all stuff, because I don't really go out to the bars and clubs and stuff and whatever else, because you see me in bars and stuff like that over the years with Tony and stuff, but I mean, I don't really go out that often, like things like that. It's like even when I go to Liverpool for football, you know, I know boys go over there deliberately just to go out for a night out, to get away from the wife or get away from the girlfriend or go out with the boys. And guys, you know me, I don't do all that. I go to watch football and then come back to the hotel and have a cup of tea and put my feet up and probably think I'm a born old bastard, like. But there's been times where I've wanted to go out for a beer and stuff, and I don't even drink beer at the matches. You know what I mean? Like, okay, when I was in Blackpool there recently, I must admit, now I did go out on the Thursday night for a few beers down to Witherspoons in Blackpool, and it was great. I did go on my own, didn't give a shit. I just wanted to go. I had a few beers in the apartment before I went out, and the apartment where we were staying was like literally 2 minutes away from the Witherspoons I went to, and I ended up meeting people from, where were they from? I can't even remember. We were sitting chatting away and stuff, and I was just sitting there having a few beers, having a few sambucas. I ended up, here's a funny story, I ended up fucking seeing a crowd of grannies. I would say they're probably in their 60s, late 60s, maybe mid 60s, and they were sitting jugging shots and drinking Jack Daniels straight, and I'm like, fucking hell, these women could drink you under the table. They were lovely people too. Like, I was standing at the bar behind sambuca shots. Now, the bar wasn't busy, it was like half fullish. You could get a drink within 2 minutes, no problem. And one of them said to me, he says, "Oh, you drinking all that there?" And I says, "I could say the same thing about you ladies, look at you. Oh, we're out for a good night out. No, all our husbands are down the road there. We're having a good time on our own." And I'm going, knock yourselves out, girls. Fair play to them. Like, I would say they were at least in their mid-60s. And they were juggling, here, listen. As long as I had a good time, that's all that mattered to me. But I went out and had a couple of pints and all, and had a few drinks, and it was great. And I got back to the apartment with about 2 hours later, came back, had 2 or 3 more beers, and then went to bed. Paul even ended up having a beer with me now as well, because obviously he's 18 now, so I had a beer with him, and then I passed out, and I was told the next morning that apparently I was snoring. So, yeah, there you go. But you never know, I might take myself out tonight, I don't know. I'll see how I feel later, because I got loads on today. Well, after I record this podcast, I got things to do today, so I'll just have to wait and see how I feel. Maybe I'll head down for an hour just to see what the crack is and show my face and whatever. And, you know, even a mate of mine was talking to him on Sunday. I would mention it to him, and he was like, "Get yourself down there." He says, "You never know, you might meet yourself a good woman." I was like, I have no interest. I have no interest. I would go down there and sit and have a few pints, play a bit of bingo for a crack and a laugh, see what all the fuss is about. And as soon as that was over, I'd be like, right, finish the pint, outside, taxi, home. So it would be. But he was winding me up something shocking. He was like, "Get out there and make yourself a new woman." And I'm like, aye, dead on. No interest in it. But anyway, hopefully that'll be my plans for tonight. But if not, I'll be at home and I'll be chilling out and sort of, maybe I'll see if Tony wants to come out for a couple of beers too and see how he's getting on, see if he's not so busy this week. But yes, that'll hopefully be my plans for tonight. But anyway, now I've got that all out of the way. A few things I wanted to mention up on the podcast today. Let me see here now. I've got a few wee notes wrote down here now, which I actually should have, what do you call it? Should have actually had, I don't even have my laptop on me today. I'm sitting here trying to work off my smartphone. Speaking of smartphones, now that I've got some bits and bobs that I want to talk about brought up here, Apple have announced the other day, when was it? Was it Tuesday? I think it was Tuesday. The new iPhone and the new Apple. They had this big Apple sort of like conference thing they always do. They make it all fancy dancy and all that there. Lewis and I were extremely interested in the new Apple iPhone 15 that's just been announced. That was the thing I wanted to talk about today, was smartphones. Where would we be in the world without smartphones? And funny enough, a friend of mine, Craig, posted on his social media pages yesterday about his phone being frozen. He says, what would we do without where were we before we had smartphones? And I thought, that's a wee thing I might bring up today, or on Thursday on the podcast. Just to check my notes, or actually, smartphones is one of the things I've written down. Where would we be in the world without fucking smartphones? Like, seriously, where would we be without smartphones? Let's just talk about this for a couple of minutes. Phones in general, I mean, smartphones are like legitimately everybody's, this world, mostly have smartphones now. The things you can do on a phone now is incredible compared to what mobile phones were like when they first came out on the market. I mean, think about this, right? The things you can do on your phone, the things I can do on my phone for my job, and things I do in football, and things I do in general, like social media and YouTube, and like, my God, if you'd have turned around to me 25 years ago and said, Matthew, you've been making videos on YouTube, you'd have been posting stuff on a platform for the whole world to see, all from your mobile phone. You'd be making home videos and home recordings and making music videos and montages and all that there, and you'd be able to like have things on your phone where you can like do your shopping online and stuff like that. I looked at you and went, no, sorry, 30 years ago, not 25 years ago, 30 years ago, I looked at you and went, you on fucking glue? You stiffing glue or something? Or are you taking drugs? You high or drunk or something? No. Because I remember when I first got my first mobile phone, like, I was actually talking about this a few weeks ago to my friend who I mentioned in this podcast before, who's no longer with us, my best friend. We first got our phones, like, fuck me, I remember like it was yesterday. We got our mobile phones, we thought it was the best thing since sliced bread. But the thing about it was, though, we couldn't really call each other that much until it was the weekend, because it was cheaper. Because he was on a different network and I was on another network. And here's the story. For anybody out there who lives in the UK, you probably remember this well. Then he was on a network called BT Cellnet, which then turned into my, obviously known as O2. And I was on Vodafone at the time, pay as you talk. And this was what? When did we get our first mobile phones? Gee whiz, early mid-90s. I had the Vodafone's own make of phone, Sagem, I think it was called. I think it was my first phone, was it? It was one of them ones anyway. I had a Nokia, one of the big, massive, bulky Nokia phones, and he had a Sony Ericsson phone, which was like a really squared type shape with a big, thick aerial on top of it. Now, the aerial wasn't obviously big, but it was thick. You could do some damage with things, so you could have hit something with that phone. But when we first got our phones, we thought it was brilliant, and they didn't even have polyphonic ringtones back then. That's before the normal ringtones now, or music on your phone now. But the point was, I mean, I remember me and Ricky first got our phones, we thought it was brilliant, you know. And then when the first came out where you could start sending text messages, we thought, holy shit. Like, we sent text messages, it cost a fucking fortune. And then at the week with me on my network, it changed at the weekend after 6 o'clock, it became 5p a text message. You know, it's just like. And then weekends, your calls were just in price, and then eventually down the year or so down the line, we're like, oh, you can call other networks for cheaper, and now you just get unlimited minutes and any fucking phone, any network, anytime. But I mean, God, I remember them mobile phones back then compared to smartphones now. I mean, Apple's just announced the iPhone 15 the other day, and you've also got your Samsung Galaxy phones out there. You've got all your different types of networks and smartphones and all now too. And the things you can do on a smartphone compared to what you could do on a phone back in the end days, like, Jesus Christ, man, it's like night and day. Like, I remember having a Nokia 3310 phone. You used to be able to play Snake on it. For anybody out there who love phones. You know, when you got a text message back in them days, you thought it was fucking outstanding. Now your phone's constantly pinging with WhatsApp and Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, and if you're on Twitter and notifications about news, notifications about your health and your fitness, and all these plethora of apps you can get on your phone now of all different things in life, where it be, oh my God, the things to help you sleep properly, things that help you eat right, things to edit your photos and videos. You can even like have a full proper like editing studio on your mobile phone to edit videos and do things, and all these different apps you can get for different things in life. You know, it's just incredible. Now smartphones are just insane compared to what they were like donkey years ago. And when I look at some of the stuff, I mean, I currently have an iPhone 13 Pro Max, which I love. Phone's in perfect condition. Not a scratch on it, not a mark on it. I've used it I've had that phone nearly 2 years now. And I was just looking at stuff the other day, and Lewis says, Daddy, you going to get the iPhone 15? And I'm like, do I really need it? You know, because the 13 Pro Max I have is working perfectly fine. You know, it's great. I use it for everything. I use it in football. I use it at home. I use it to create my thumbnails for my vlogs. I edit my vlogs on it. I film my vlogs on it. You know, well, not so much more now because I got that GoPro Hero 11, which is great. But I mean, a smartphone compared to back then, you know, you have everything on it. You've got a camera on it. You can do recordings on it. You can do everything you could possibly think of on a mobile phone. You can check emails on it. You can sit and talk about it all day. The things you can do on a smartphone now compared to phones then. It's just whenever they announced the iPhone 15 the other day, and I must say that it does look like a quality phone, you know. And the only thing about Apple is, I mean, Apple get you by the balls, all the accessories and all you have to buy to go alongside it. But this year is different because they've now changed it to a USB-C charger instead of their own Apple charger. Because for the last couple of years, when you buy an iPhone, when you buy any phone, you get a phone. Sometimes they give you earphones with it and a charger cable and a plug. But with Apple, the last couple of years, they give you the charger cable, but don't give you a plug. So you got to go and buy a fucking plug at like 25 quid a touch. But this year, they're giving you a USB-C, which charges also Android phones. And me personally, I've been on Android for long. I was on Apple for a while until last Apple phone I had was just last time I had an Apple phone was what, 2013, 14. I was on Android for a lot of years, and with Android phones is even better because with Android phones, obviously with Apple, it's only certain things you can do because it's obviously locked to Apple software. With Android, you can download different apps and different things you can do, and things you can do on Android compared to Apple's completely different. But with Apple, you're more secure, and with Apple, you've got more different options out there. I think it's a more powerful system than Android. I actually enjoy Apple now, so yeah, the things you can do on an Apple phone is incredible. But I was looking at this 15 lucid me the other day, you know, Daddy, you know, you're wanting to get the iPhone 15, and I'm thinking, should I, shouldn't I? Maybe. I don't know. I'm going to have a think about it. And you can start pre-ordering it tomorrow. But I was looking at it and going, is there really much of a difference? Is it really going to change my life much? I mean, the 13 Pro Max I have is a fantastic phone. I love it. But again, is it going to make much of a difference? I don't know. But the point I'm trying to make is, guys, the things you can do on a phone now compared to what you could do back in them days is just, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And I mean, a conversation I had recently back with my friend Richard's sister about it, saying like I was saying, like, Sonia, I remember whenever me and Ricky got our mobile phones together. We first got our phones together. I was just like, oh my god, we thought we were so cool. We're like going down the town on a Friday night, you know, and we thought, oh, this is great and all. Even when we were going to meet friends and all, we had phones, and they're like, oh my god, you've got a mobile phone. But it's just so cool. Now everybody has one. But funny story, I think I mentioned this on the podcast before, it was a couple of years ago. I got on a train one time with Lewis, and this woman, I swear to God, and I think I did mention this before, this woman was sitting on the train, and she was sitting with a Nokia 3310 and a CD player. And then pocket CD players you used to get years ago, you put the CD and the slightest wee bump, your CD would jump and you had to restart it again. It was like kind of having a Walkman, but on a disc format. It was crazy. And I remember I just looked over to her and I said, excuse me, can I ask you one question? Is that a Nokia 3310? And she went, it is. And she goes, I mean, that's actually awesome. She says, what do you mean to me? Everybody has a smartphone now, and you're sitting, and she says, you know something? She said, what's your name? I says, Matthew. She says, you know something, Matthew? I don't need a smartphone. See, as long as I can send a text message to my daughter and my grandkids, and as long as I can pick up the phone and ring someone, I'm happy enough. I says, I notice you have a CD player as well. And she says, mate, with smartphones, you realize you can get it all on your phone, like your music and stuff. And she went, I have old CDs from my late husband that I listened to. And I went, oh, okay. But you know, you can get them digitally downloaded on the phone. And she went, no, I have no interest. She says, I'm happy the way I am. I'm plain and simple. She says, I would never change. And she says, that phone, it lasts me for days. That's the thing. Those phones did last for fucking days. The Nokia 3310. Those phones would last you for about a week before they died. She says, my phone charges last me for days. I can text. I can phone. That's all I need. I don't need social media, she says. All that crap. She says, I don't need all that. She says, I says, you know something? Respect to you. I mean, all the respect to you, because you know something, back in them times it was simpler times. Because I posted a thing on, where was it? Was it my own personal Facebook a few weeks ago? of all these things you can do on your phone, but all like back in the day, like video recorder, photographs, typing on a key, like an old keyboard, all these different things all rolled around, and then the smartphone sitting in the middle of all the devices you used to use back in the day to do certain individual things you can all now do on your phone. And she says, that's all I need. She says, I don't bother all that social media jazz. She says, I don't need to be on all that. She says, I'm on my own, I'm happy. My husband fortunately passed away and all. She says, I just need my wee phone and my CD player. I'll go out for a walk a couple of days. See, as long as my phone can ring and I can text my daughter and whatever else, she says, I'm happy. And I was like, that's pretty cool. Fair play to you. You know what I mean? Fair play to you. So it is, but that's the point, guys. Smartphones nowadays are just incredible for what you can do on them. There's my mum who can't even hardly fucking switch on a smartphone. When I phone her on, I actually phone her on Thursday nights on a video call, and it's just a nightmare. And I've been trying to talk her into getting her phone upgraded to a different phone. She's thinking about going for an iPhone. And I said, well, Mum, you don't need to go for one of them big expensive ones. Even just get yourself like a wee iPhone 7 or 8 or something. You can get them for about 150 quid now. And my wee phone will do you for everything that you need. You know what I mean? And your video calls will be a lot better, and you'll be able to do more things on it. And, because Mum's not very technically minded, and there's Dad. They'd be a type of people, every time she comes around here every so often, she would just hand me her phone and go, can you update my phone? It's running really slow again. And I just look at her and go, okay, Mum, no problem, dead on, give me that. She's not very good with technology. And there's Dad, though, because Dad would panic as well whenever he's on his wee tablet, because I would ring him sometimes, and if Mum's like watching certain programs on TV which Dad doesn't watch, Dad would just sit in the corner in the room and just put his earphones in and put his wee tablet thing on he has, and away he goes, you know what I mean? But no, they're not very technically minded when it comes to things like that, but that's that generation for you. But in closing, guys, at the end of the day, you know what smartphones are like. The things you can do on a smartphone now is just insane compared to now. And I was looking at that iPhone 15 the other day, and even Brooke turned to me yesterday and she goes, you know something, Daddy, you'll go and get it, I know you will. And I went, I don't know, not in a hurry for it, to be honest. But we'll just have to wait and see. But anyway, yes, mobile phones. Are they a good thing or are they a bad thing? It's just, are they a good thing or a bad thing? Sometimes they be a good thing, but they can also be a bad thing as well. Especially with the likes of social media. So they can be. But that's just the way the world evolves. The world's moving forward. It's the same as before I finally go about this subject. Like, mobile phones replaced like landline phones. Like, not a lot of people have landline phones anymore. Not a lot of people would use different like things, for example, like Skype on your laptop or thing for video calls and all that. It's all on your phone now. Phone boxes are another thing that's suffered since mobile phones as well. Like, long gone the days we had to run down the phone box to phone your friend. And when you're on the phone, like people outside the UK are listening right now, but here in the UK, when you're putting money in the phone box and it was about to run out, you heard the thing going beep, 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 because your money was about to run out, and we used to call it the pips. So every time it went beep, 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 you're like, I gotta go, my money's about to run out, my pips are going to go, I'll speak to you later, bye-bye, boom, down the phone. All those are now gone. You see, we've actually shown a lot of phone boxes in our recent vlogs in London and Blackpool and England and Wigan and Liverpool and everywhere, and they're all lying empty now. There's a phone box around the corner from us that's been lying empty for a long time. Very rare you see a phone box now working because everybody has a mobile phone. It has replaced a lot of things. For the good and also for the bad. But let me know what you think about it, guys. Is smartphones good or bad? Who knows? Right, let's get into some of the things that are going on. Here's the thing. I wanted to mention this today. Now, I know we've been talking about this old clown for a long time here on the podcast. Sleepy Joe Biden I was watching a video yesterday about him. Apparently he's being investigated for what I've been heard about all his dodgy dealings and stuff. Sorry, I'm just going to take a wee swig of water here. Do you remember whenever he was doing the election and stuff like that there against Donald Trump back in the time? And there was a lot of accusations going around about him and his dodgy son, about dodgy deals and dodgy money and all that there stuff. Well, I was reading yesterday and I also found a video online of, they were saying they're going to investigate Joe Biden about all his dodgy dealings with, like, money and stuff with his son and stuff like that there. And I was just reading through some of the comments on the videos, and people were saying, like, Americans were saying, like, oh, thank God, get him out, get rid of him, get him out of the office, he's no good. And honestly, guys, I've been talking about this man for months. I've been saying before, this guy needs to be in a care home. This guy is just completely, But I was watching that video about him, and they were saying about getting him out, and they're asking to make a formal investigation about obviously his activities and about his lies to the government, about the lies to the government and lies to the Americans. And I mean, we all know from the start, Joe Biden should have never been elected as president. You know, he's too old. He falls asleep. He's fallen over. He's too old. He's just no clue. He's creepy. He's odd. He's a weird wee man. The list goes on and on and on and on and on and on. And when I saw those things, I was watching that video yesterday, that public statement made in front of the press, it was like, oh my God, here we go. People are like in the comments on that saying, it's about friggin' time. He should have been kicked out of office a long time ago. We all know he's dodgy. You know, get him out. Aye. So, but here's the thing, and I could talk about this again. Election times next year, 2024, and there's a lot of people on. I watch some of the American news channels sometimes online and whatever else on YouTube, and they always say, oh, they're starting to ramp up COVID again because of the election, and they're starting to do all these different things because the election's round the corner, and they're trying to keep Biden in and all this here nonsense. Let me tell you something. If Sleepy Joe Biden gets elected as president again, I reckon it's going to kick off an absolute fucking war in America, because people want that old man out. I personally don't vote. I don't get involved in politics, but if I was voting for someone, I wouldn't vote for him. Honestly, the man is just... it just seems to get worse and worse and worse and worse as the weeks and months go on. You always turn on the TV and you hear, oh, Biden fell again, or he's stammering his words again. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He hasn't got a clue. He's sniffing girls' hair. He's being creepy around kids. He's just been a complete old, weird, creepy wee man. And it's just like, yeah, he needs to go. So he does. He's just a weird little old man, so he is. But yeah, I just saw that yesterday and I thought I'd bring it up today, because it's just, he's an oddball, that man. He needs to go. Any drivers out there have been talking about cars the last couple of weeks, about, you know, all different things, about different fines for different things and all the rules and changes of rules and all this here. Well, I don't know if you heard in the recent news here in the UK that they were saying they were trying to get cars off the road by 2020 or 2035 and have it all mostly electric cars or whatever. But there's been a story come out today for any of you drivers out there. Petrol and diesel cars will remain on UK roads until 2128, despite imminent sales ban. They're trying to like go this whole eco-friendly crap, and it's crazy. It says the new data has now come out and said that the last ever petrol diesel vehicle on UK roads could be around for at least another 100 years. People are fighting back against these morons, saying because of like electric cars and stuff like that. Listen, here's my view on it. Electric cars can be good in some way. I mean, me and Lewis rode in a full electric car. We rode in a Tesla. Whenever we were in Blackpool recently, we came when I was coming back from the hospital after injuring my foot in Blackpool. We ordered an Uber, and the guy who was driving the Uber was driving a 60 grand Tesla. He said he can get about 238 miles to the charge, which is great, don't get me wrong, but when you're taxiing all day, obviously that's going to eat up really, really quickly. I have a split view on electric cars, don't get me wrong. They can be handy to have, and they can be great to have, and again, people are saying, oh, but the petrol prices and all are up and all too as well. But then so is electric. You're paying money to charge your car, and I get a lot of people saying to me all the time, what do you prefer, electric or petrol? Or, I know people who've bought electric cars and all recently too as well, and they're happy with them and all, but I don't know, guys. I'm a bit on the fence about it all, to be honest with you. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still love the good old traditional go and buy your petrol. Because funny enough, about a couple of months ago, I was watching an old video on YouTube one night of, was it a news report or something? It was something like that. And they were saying that to keep your car on the road for a year, one full year, was £100 for the year for petrol. £100 for the year. Jesus Christ, that wouldn't even fill your tank for a fucking week now or 2 weeks. But I remember watching that video and going, gee whiz. And I actually recall having a conversation with my dad about it, and I said, like, Dad, was it really that cheap back then? And he was like, oh, aye, yeah. Like, I remember as a kid growing up and driving past petrol stations and seeing, like, 59p or something, or 50p or 58p or something like that for whatever it is now. And then you drive past now, and up a couple of months ago, it was like £2 per litre or whatever it was. Back in the days, it was like 58p and 53p. And then Dad was saying, like, I remember even back then it was even cheaper. And even going to the Americans as well, before Sleepy Joe Biden came in as president, Donald Trump had a gallon of gas, as they call it, for like $1.30 or something like that. Now it's like $3 or $4 a gallon ever since Biden came in. So, I mean, it's crazy. So it is. It's just absolutely insane. But they're now, you got these people at the minute are trying to get all these petrol cars off the road, and everything should be all eco-friendly and electric and whatever else. But for what I was reading in this recent report, guys, for any of you drivers out there, there's going to be more electric, or there's going to be petrol cars on the road for at least another 100 years. I'm not going to be around to see all that there. It's not that it really worries me, to be quite honest with you. Anybody out there who are Amazon shoppers, I would use Amazon now and again. So with Amazon shoppers now, there's new rules coming in for the Prime shoppers. It actually changes next week. So for anybody there who shops on Amazon, I know people who shop on Amazon quite a bit, especially when they've had a few beers. You know who I'm talking about. It's a guy, I know he's mustard for it. But at Amazon, they're introducing a new charge for Prime members. With they're now starting the 18th of September. There's new changes coming in. Amazon Prime customers obviously get free delivery and stuff like that because they're a Prime subscriber to their service. But anybody from the 18th of September order anything under £20 will be charged $1.99 per postage. Now, I know there's been a whole thing going on recently about Amazon and what's been going on with their Prime, and I seen a wee thing there a couple of months ago about people being scammed out of Prime and scams going stuff and all that there. Amazon are an excellent service. I mean, I've ordered off Amazon so many times. I've never had an issue with Amazon, but this Amazon Prime, I've never subscribed to it, never been part of it. So most of that stuff I just click on. It's free delivery anyway, so I'll wait an extra couple of days. It doesn't bother me. Unless it's something that I need urgently, then I'll pay the extra £2 or £3 for the special delivery. But so from the 18th of September, guys, about there who's a Prime shopper, you will be charged an extra £2 on top of your item. So you will be, just to get it there to you a little bit quicker. So I think talked about this now. Obviously I'm a big admirer of, presenters of TV shows from the last lot of years. I'm very old school when it comes to TV shows from the past and stuff like that there. And a couple of weeks ago we lost Michael Parkinson. Anybody who doesn't know who Michael Parkinson is, he was a TV presenter who used to do interviews with celebrities and different types of shows and all back in the day. He was one of the golden generation, I call. Unfortunately, he passed away a few weeks ago. He was laid to rest yesterday. His funeral was finally yesterday. Another one of the legends gone from the generation where, TV was a bit more, how can I explain it? It was more better TV than what it is now, to be honest. From the generation where people weren't easily offended, unlike some of the morons out there now with to try and get everything cancelled. There's one of that generation unfortunately passed away. His funeral was yesterday. It was so sad because I used to remember watching Michael Parkinson growing up as a kid. He used to do all the big interviews with all the big celebrities, the likes of Muhammad Ali and all the big TV stars you used to see on TV. He used to sit down interviews with them all the time, and he was outstanding. He was one of them ones. It wasn't even an interview, it was more of a conversation he would have. So it would be. His ceremony yesterday took place in St. Michael. I was going to say a family gathering. His funeral yesterday. It was in St. Michael's Church in Bray with 90 of his nearest dear family. He was just an absolutely incredible presenter back in the day. Some of the stuff that he used to do. I mean, they weren't even classes interviews. They were just classes sit down chats with celebrities. He was just wow. Just watching some of the stuff that he done back in the day. All the different interviews that he done, all the different shows that he done, and it was just so sad to see when he finally passed away. He was obviously was he? I can't remember what age he was now, but it was so sad to see him pass away. But that's another one of the golden eras, I like to call, gone. It's just so sad, really, because I mean, obviously everybody goes in the end, but he came from a generation where people weren't easily offended, and you could say certain things on TV now compared to what you can't say on TV now, which is just ridiculous. So it is absolutely ridiculous compared to some people now. It's just, I mean, I remember hearing a couple of months ago the Faulty Towers was coming back here in the UK, and they were trying to get it cancelled because it was too offensive. Seriously. And then they were trying to get Only Fools and Horses taken off TV because it was too offensive. And they were trying to get all the, just don't. I mean, for months and months and months, I talked about it on this podcast about different people getting easily offended by the stupidest shit. People going to gigs and standing outside protesting and all. We can't even laugh anymore. You know, comedians are you know, being cancelled left, right and centre. Old school comedians are being cancelled. If you speak up against this woke crap, you get either sent to jail or you get cancelled or whatever. And Michael Parkinson came from that generation, you know, where you could just have a good old fashioned laugh. And you look back at some of the older stuff and you go, there were the good times, the simpler times compared to now. Everything has to be complicated. Even when they're casting for a show now, there's complications about, you know, about race and about gender equality and all this bullshit that you see now. But Michael Parkinson was one of them ones who used to just call it a spade a spade. He was great. I used to fit him in the categories of the likes of the Terry Wogans of the days, and you know, all those, like the entertainers of back in the day when I grew up, the likes of the Bruce Forsyths and, you know, one of my favourite comedians, Rick Mail. Just so many things. And obviously Mr. Parkinson was laid to rest there yesterday, so another one of the golden age gone. Still a few there hanging about, which I grew up watching, but they're obviously getting older now, and the generation now of entertainment has completely changed. You can't say a certain thing now on TV because you want to offend somebody, which is bullshit. It just makes me so cross when I see the good old-fashioned... There's another one, Jim Davison has had to go from being on TV to his own platform, Ustream, because people are so easily offended. But then I watched one of his shows one night, or one of his YouTube videos where it was, and people were actually paying to go on to his service to complain about it, to get him cancelled. Nor one as well. You know, other comedians from back in the day. There's another one I used to watch. Actually went and watched them live once, Frankie Boyle. He's even been watered down now as well because he can't say certain things and certain jokes. Jimmy Carr is the same. Well, in saying that there, Jimmy Carr threw someone out of his show there last year. It was filmed by somebody on their phone. It was shown all over the internet, throwing them out because he didn't want to. He says no snowflakes required. If you've paid your hard-earned money to come in here just to try and get me stopped or try and say something bad to get me cancelled, you're wasting your time. Get the fuck out of my show. Fair play to him. Roy Chubby Brown's another one. All these different comedians and presenters and people are all being like cancelled and muted and all now because of all this. You can't say this, you can't say that. But Mr. Parkinson was one of them ones who I used to enjoy his interviews, watching, well, not in interviews, just to sit down and chat with people. All the different shows that he done, I used to enjoy watching them as a kid growing up. Another one of the golden era, gone. So sad. So it is. So sad. Anyway, moving on. Right, I want to move on actually, guys, because I'm going to go into some of your questions because I've been talking for nearly an hour today, which is just insane. Don't forget, next Tuesday, guys, is the 1 year anniversary of the Mirror Army podcast. So please get all your questions in as much as you can. I'm going to post it out in social media after I get this podcast released today. So let's get into some of your questions on social media. Right, let's have a wee look here and say... Right, one here on Facebook, first of all, from Margaret. Margaret on Facebook has wrote to me saying, "Hi Matthew, how are you today? Just wanted to ask you a wee quick question for your podcast. I'm an avid gardener along with my sister, and we were just wanting to know, do you like doing gardening? Are you a man that doesn't like doing gardening, or are you a man that does like doing gardening? I was watching your vlogs over the last couple of years and seen that you had stuff done to your back garden. Have you continued on the work with your garden since then? I just wanted to ask you this because my sister and I love watching all your videos and we think you're quite funny, especially when you and Lewis have banter back and forward." Okay, brilliant. Just wanted to ask you about this. Do you like gardening at all? Thanks for reading my message. I do appreciate it. Hope you have a good week. Margaret. Well, Margaret, see, to be honest with you, gardening does not bother me. I enjoy doing it because you know why? For example, if I have to go outside and cut grass, and I know I've had a shitty day and I'm feeling crap, for all that hour it takes me to go out there and cut grass and clean up and whatever else, I find it very therapeutic. I find it a way of getting away from all my crap and just switching off, sometimes sticking a pair of earphones in, sticking the radio on my ear and just having a wee chat, or we listen to the radio, and just, or stick a podcast or something on and just literally go. And I always find gardening very sort of like relaxing, you know. Yeah, I had some decking built in my back garden there a while back. I have a few RV things done to my garden over the time being as well. Actually, yesterday, I was saying at the start of this podcast, I was actually out yesterday, gotten out some more crap that I needed to clear out of the garden, so it's all clear now. I'm actually going to hopefully go out here this afternoon and hit it with a power washer. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy gardening. It doesn't bother me. You know, I used to do a lot of gardening when I was younger. I used to cut the grasses for different people. I used to go around like Lewis does in the summertime, like go around cutting people's grass and doing gardening and stuff to try and earn a few pennies and stuff. So yeah, gardening, I do enjoy doing, you know. It doesn't bother me going out and cutting the grass for 10 minutes or 20 minutes or half an hour, whatever it is. You know, I don't mind doing it. I like going out twice, 3 times a year, sticking the earphones in and hitting the power washer on the driveway, which takes about an hour to do because obviously the type of tarmac that I have on the driveway. So yeah, gardening, just, I enjoy doing it, you know. It doesn't, would I like to have more done to my garden? Probably, yeah. But I mean, yeah, I enjoy doing it because it's a way of me switching off from the world, especially if I have a pair of earphones in to put the radio on my ear and just, away I go. So yeah, but say you and your sister have been watching the videos and stuff, so thank you very much, Margaret, you and your sister. Big shout out to both of you. And yeah, thanks for sending in the message today. I do appreciate it a lot. Right, let's get into another one here on Facebook. This is the Mirror Army YouTube channel Facebook page, by the way, guys, if you want to drop me a message. One here from Susan. Susan on Facebook writes, "Hi Matthew, hope you're keeping well. Just wanted to let you know my 2 sons are obsessed with your YouTube channel. They were so jealous of you and Lewis recently at AEW All In Wrestling in London, England. I was going to take my kids to it, but it worked out very expensive. Do you know how much the tickets were? I know you upgraded your tickets, and my son Charlie was so jealous of you and Lewis. We watched your vlog and Charlie was screaming at the TV, 'Look at their seats, Mum. I am so jealous.' Oh my goodness me, Charlie. Just wanted to know, was it very expensive to go to that show? I would love to take my kids to the one next time they come to Belfast, as they're obsessed with wrestling. Also, they love your YouTube channel. Can you give a shout out to my 2 kids, Charlie and Stephanie?" Okay, no problem. Hello, guys. How are you? Thank you for reading my message. I do appreciate it. Okay. Yeah, we were there at London, at Wembley. We upgraded our tickets. Yes, we did. We had to pay a wee bit more to try and get it. We had a package deal with AEW. This is what the story was, guys. We had a package deal with them. We were in the lower tier of Wembley Stadium. When I say lower tier, I mean like near the floor. And then that afternoon, we were given an option to upgrade our tickets for, I can't remember how much it was. It wasn't that much, to be honest, to floor seats. So we snapped it up. But what I done was we actually ended up I don't know how it worked out, but Ticketmaster still gave us our 2 seats for there. And my friend from Lisburn, Dion, was there. Well, he was supposed to be there with his missus, but his missus took sick. So I met him in the airport and kept in touch with him the whole day. And I said to him, look, I texted him saying, look, listen, I have these other tickets here, because he was way up at the very, very top section in the nosebleeds. And I said to him, look, Dion, there's 2 tickets sitting here if you want them. You know, come get them. And he was like, okay, are you sure? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, let me pay you for it. And I went, no, don't be daft. Go on, away you go. Take on better tickets, or away you go. So we did. But, yeah, it was a good trip. So it was. But, yeah, thanks for watching the YouTube videos, guys. Appreciate it. Next time, if WWE or anything comes to Belfast, locally, again, they were there recently, they're back again, and you're at the show, drop us a message, and I'll come and say hello to you and your kiddies, and we'll have a wee chat about wrestling or the YouTube or whatever, like, so. But yes, Susan, thanks for your message. I do appreciate it. And tell your kiddies, Charlie and Stephanie, I said hello, and I hope to meet them someday. So, all good. But yeah, no, The All In show, guys, go and watch that vlog from London. It was brilliant. So it was really, 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 really good. I thoroughly enjoyed the wee trip with London with Lewis, and just love the banter between me and Lewis. He used to say when we get up to off camera, it's fucking crazy. Me and Lewis's banter back and forwards, just he's got that teenage wit now. It's just what the frig, like crazy. Anyway, let's go on to one more Facebook one here before I move on to another one here. Let's have a wee look here through the Facebook messages. Right, I've one here from Lillian. Okay, Lillian writes to me on Facebook. Hey Matthew, how you doing? Just wanted to let you know that I'm an avid fan of your YouTube channel. Have been for a few years. I was recently involved in a car accident and I was in hospital for 4 weeks. And while I was in hospital, I watched your videos and also listened to your podcasts. I was going to marry a lot sooner, but unfortunately both my arms were in casts due to a broken wrist and a broken arm, but I can now send you a message on this platform. Your podcasts and videos kept me going along with other YouTubers that I watch regularly all the time. Can I ask you a question? Do you watch Lad Baby? If so, let me know what you think on him. I think him and Roxy are so funny and entertaining. I noticed as well you started doing some TikTok videos. Maybe you should do some stupid TikTok videos like they do because they are so funny and they have the same type of personality you do. Keep up the good work, Matthew, and I hope one day to run into you in person. And that was from Lillian. Lillian, I'm so sorry to hear about your car accident, darling. I really am so sorry to hear about that. Obviously, you were in hospital for 4 weeks. I'm sure you were going mad in hospital for 4 weeks. But I'm really, really sorry to hear about your recent car accident. I hope you're okay. I hope you're keeping well. Obviously, let me know how you're getting on. Send me another message to let me know what your progress is. But yeah, I do watch Lad Baby. He's quite funny. I actually watched the both of them. They're really, really funny. I actually wanted to do a lot of videos like that because I've had a lot of people saying that they whenever I have the same sort of personality he does and stuff like that, and even off camera too as well, people say I should be showing that more on the camera. I enjoy watching his videos and her videos. Roxy and Mark, they are quite funny. I actually got a message back from them one time a couple of years ago when I messaged them whenever they were doing a tour with one of their records for Christmas, and I was in Liverpool and they were up the road in Manchester, and I sent them a DM. I think it was on Instagram, and Mark replied to me himself. So yeah, I would love to meet them someday. So I would, but they seem really, really nice people too. I know a lot of people who've actually met them and they said they're lovely. But yes, I hope you get well soon, darling. Thank you for all your support towards the podcast and obviously the YouTube channel. I'm surprised my podcast hasn't actually put you asleep while you're in hospital. I'm joking. But no, honestly, keep me updated on your recovery. And I hope you get better soon, because car crash is a horrible thing to be involved in. But I hope you're okay, and keep in touch. I would like to hear more from you. Let's move on now, guys, to the Instagram here. Let's have a wee quick Jeffy Duke through the Instagram. We'll do 2 Instagram, and then I'll jump onto the email before I head down and do Jackass of the Week for today. Where are we? Instagram. We have Darren on Instagram. Hey Matthew, how you doing? I listen to your podcast every single week, and you say Thursday is your beer day. That is true. Thursday is my beer day. Can I ask you what your favourite beer of choice is? I also know you're a wrestling fan. Have you tried Steve Austin's new beer? I ordered some from a UK site which cost me £20 for 4 cans, and I must say it was worth it. I actually kept 1 can as a souvenir. Hopefully one day they bring it into the UK, but I'd like to know, have you tried this beer? I bought the American Lager and I thought it was absolutely beautiful. Hope this question finds you in good health. Cheers. And he does like a wee beer, sort of like emoji. Darren, yes, Thursday's my beer day. My favourite beer, it's always changed over the years. For a long time I drank Carlsberg, I drank Budweiser. Recent years I've been drinking Rockshore. What else would I drink? It just depends. And I must say though, I've been trying a few wee ales recently. And a couple of wee different like IPAs and stuff. And I found that an ale that I drank in Blackpool called Abbott's Ale, £1.40 a pint. Unbelievable. And I found it in bottle format in Tesco a few weeks ago. So I bought a few bottles of it to drink it. Seeing it's ice cold, unbelievable. Abbott's Ale. Now, in relation to Steve Austin's lager and IPA and stuff, never tried it. Want to try it. I think I know what site you're talking about, because I've seen a few of them sites online on Facebook. £20 for 4 tins, plus a delivery charge. Fuck me, I think you were in the bar itself. I would love to try it, and for what I've been reading over the last while, he is trying to get licensing for Europe for his beer and lager, because I know for a fact it would sell it like gold dust over here, like. But yeah, hopefully one time I'll get to try it. Now, we were supposed to be going to Philadelphia this year, Lewis and I, but we got screwed out of WrestleMania tickets, so we'll not be there this year. Hopefully next year. But I'd love to see it available in the UK, because apparently it is a beautiful lager, and the IPA apparently is beautiful too, and the double IPA as well, which is even 8% or something like that, a 10, blow your freaking head off. But Darren, thanks for your question on Instagram today, mate. I do appreciate it. But hopefully one day I will get to try Austin's beer. Fingers crossed. Right, let's go on to another one here from Instagram. Right, I want to hear from Jerry. Jerry from Jerry is from, where's he from? Have a look at his profile. Jerry is from Dublin. Hello, Jerry from Dublin. How are you? Hey, Matthew, how you doing? Just wanted to ask you a quick question for your podcast this week. What has been your favourite episode of your podcast, and what has been your favourite YouTube video? Greetings from Dublin. Hope next time you're in Dublin we can catch a pint together in my local pub. Take care, Jerry. I get asked this all the time about my favourite videos. I know many times I've been asked over the last year or so. Can't really point out one, there's been a couple there. Favourite podcast? Now you're asking. It's hard to point out one, isn't it? It really, really is. It's hard to point out one podcast compared to another. I don't know. I actually can't really answer it, to be honest with you, Jerry. I'm really, really sorry. You didn't write down that thing there, the name of your local pub I could have a pint with you. But yeah, podcast wise, I don't know. There's been quite a few. I mean, even had the podcast recorded from Liverpool too as well for the last year. But we'll see. I don't know. Favorite YouTube video? Oh, there's a load of them. There's the Christmas ones. There's the birthday ones. There's surprise videos and sad videos, happy videos. I just can't really point one out, to be honest. I've been asked that a couple of times over the last year or so since I started broadcasting this podcast. I don't know. I actually do not know, Jerry. I apologise. I really do apologise. Right. Well, thanks for your message. I do appreciate it. I'll do one more on Instagram. And then I'll be away. I'm over to the email here before I do Jackass of the Week here. Graham on Instagram. Let's have a look where he's from. Northamptonshire. That's what it says on his profile. So Graham from Northamptonshire. Hello there, sir. How are you? Hey, Matthew. How you doing? I listen to your podcast regularly while I'm out on my recent fitness regime. I am on a determined goal to lose a lot of weight. During the COVID lockdown, I put on 4 stone of weight, and I have been determined to get this weight off. But since I started doing my running, walking, and eating healthier, I have lost 6 stone. Holy shit. Wow. As you can see from my Instagram profile, I have completely changed my whole life. I walk regularly every day with my dog. I go out for runs that I could not do years ago. The COVID lockdown really affected me in so many ways where I felt sorry for myself because I lived on my own. My wife walked out on me years ago and left me for another man. Oh shit, I'm sorry to hear that. Ever since then, I've been solely depressed and I've sat at home, and especially during the COVID lockdowns, I sat at home and all I'd done was eat, and eat more. As I said, I put on 4 stone of weight, but I was determined one day after waking up to come to Jesus moment, as you like to call it. Yes, that's my saying, come to Jesus moment, when you have a moment in your life where you realise you need to do something. That's right. That is completely right, Graham. And he goes on to say here, after my come to Jesus moment, I came to agreement with myself that I had to lose weight. So I decided to get myself on a fitness guru, and I started walking and then started running, and I feel so much better for it. I am determined to lose at least another 1.5 stone to 2 stone weight to make myself back to the way I was in my early 20s. I have been struggling with depression and anxiety quite a lot, especially more so during the COVID lockdown. But watching your videos along with other YouTubers that I watched during the lockdown really helped me get through. I know you've been through quite a lot yourself over the last couple of years, especially in the last 18 months to a year, as I've seen you obviously not being on YouTube as much as what you have been due to other issues with your family, personal stuff, and obviously your relationship breakup with Sandra. Okay. But I wanted to let you know that I'm here to talk to you anytime, as I have been there myself. It's not very good to be there. But I am determined to lose more weight, and I use your podcasts and videos along with other YouTubers and podcasters to help me get through the day. Thank you so much for your inspiration. Keep up the good work. Tell Lewis I said, come on, Man United. Now, you go and ruin the email by saying, "Mom, Man United." Why do you have to say that for? I'm only joking. And I look forward to hopefully meeting you one day when you're in the UK itself. Take care of yourself. All the best. Graham. What an email. Or what a message on Instagram, sorry. Graham, listen, fair play to you, my friend, for losing all that weight. I know how you feel, because during lockdown, I sat around and I was eating quite a lot of crap too. I think a lot of people were doing that. Yeah, it's been a pretty shit 18 months for 2 years for myself. Obviously a lot of personal things going on and relationship breakups and other things going on too as well, but I'm trying to look at the positive side of it and try and pull myself out of that situation. You know, I learned quite a lot, guys, after my mental health battle back in 2013, that I learned how to get the tools to pull myself out of certain situations. But look at yourself there, Graham. You've been going through quite a lot yourself. Obviously, you said that your partner left you, and I'm so sorry to hear that, because it happened to me too as well, and it's horrible, you know, and it's not a nice thing to get. I've been through there myself, and it's a horrible place to be in. It's a dark place to be in, but I don't even know why you have any children. You don't mention that in your message or whatever, or any family. If you do, use them as strength to get forward and move forward, because at the end of the day, you know, they help you get through bad times. My kids helped me get through a lot of bad times as well. So, you know, lean on them for support. If you have family, lean on them for support, because at the end of the day, you know, they mean so much to you, and my family means so much to me. Even though we fight the bit out, and I don't really tell mum and dad that often that, like, I love them, but I just tell them more often, but I don't. But, you know, we've always been close, but we're not like huggy close, and like most families now are. But we all know we're there for each other, and we support each other, and we all love each other. But no, honestly, Graham, just try and keep your head up. I mean, you've lost 6 stone now, so fair play to you, my friend. And I had a look on your Instagram where I was talking to you here, to respond to your message here, and I can see the difference. Like, just scrolling down your page here on my phone, I can see, you know, you have been through a lot of shit, and you've lost a lot of weight, so fair play to you, my friend. Keep it up, and keep going, and things will get better. It always does. But yeah, send it my podcast and my videos along with other YouTubers and podcasters to help you get through the time. For the fact that you've actually picked up a device and put an earphone in, or you switch something on or whatever to listen to my podcast or watch my video, that just means so much to me. So I'm glad I can help you in any way I can. Just keep in touch with me, Graham, and keep me posted on how you're getting on. And, you know, I'll certainly respond to that wee message today, and I've obviously responded to you here on the podcast. So keep up the good work, my friend, and keep your head up, and things will get better. Trust me, it does get there. And don't give up, because if you give up, that's not an answer. Just don't give up. Just keep moving forward. Keep thinking positive, because things will get better. Trust me, it does. I mean, at the moment, I'm going through a bit of a sticky patch again at the minute, but I'm trying to look at the positives and trying to move forward and thinking, right, meet new people, try and get involved in different things, and the right things will fall into place eventually. That's what I keep thinking anyway, at least. So thanks for your message. I do appreciate it. And keep in touch, because I want to hear, obviously, how you're getting on. Let's do an email here too before we go on to Jackass of the Week. Right, who have we got today on the email? Right, let's have a look here. Right, I've one here from Trevor in Barnsley. Trevor writes to me from Barnsley. Hello, Barnsley. Never been to Barnsley. Hang on. Every time I think of Barnsley, I think of the football team, Oakwell, their stadium. Yeah, tell you. Trevor from Barnsley writes, "Hi Matthew, how you doing? Love listening to the podcast every week. I just thought I would send you an email to say hi. I'm hoping this message can be read out on the podcast, because it would mean a lot to me and my brother Peter, who both listen to the podcast every single week." Well, thank you very much, gents. I appreciate it. Nothing special to ask. Just wanted to see if you could give us a wee shout out on the podcast. Keep up the good work. Look forward to hopefully one day meeting you in person, because I know you like traveling around the UK, as we love watching your YouTube videos as well. Keep up the good work, and come on the Reds. Now, I don't know why it's come on the Reds for Barnsley, or is that come on the Reds for Liverpool? Never said. Well, he lives in Barnsley, so he's probably a Barnsley fan. Maybe he isn't, I don't know. Trevor, thanks for your message. Do appreciate it. Yes, thank you. As always, appreciate it. You and your bro listen to the podcast every week, so hello to both of you. In Barnsley. Now, when you say, come on the Reds, is it Liverpool or Barnsley or somebody else? I haven't got a clue. No idea. But, yeah. I've been getting quite a lot in emails. People saying they're looking forward to meeting me. But then it's so funny because I get people... It's mostly people from the mainland and whatever. But when I get people back here in Northern Ireland and I see them, they see me in the street, they send you a message on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, or email you and they go, I saw you at the game the other night. I was going to come up and say hello, but hello, come and say hi, hello. I just love meeting people. Come up and say hello. But thanks for your message, Trevor. Appreciate it. It means a lot. Let's go on to another email here before I rock and roll down the road here now. I was actually sitting there on Tuesday night. Lying in bed on Tuesday night responding to some of your messages on Instagram. Somebody's got back to me right away, which is quite good to see as well. So it was great to obviously hear from you. Let's have a look here and see now through the emails. There's quite a lot of emails today, but not as many as what there normally is. So there is. So, right, let's have a look. Found one. Right, I've one here from Francis. Doesn't say where he's from, but it's just Francis on the email, moorearmypodcast@yahoo.com. Francis says, Hi Matthew, how you doing? Just wanted to see if I could get a little bit of advice on you on buying my first home. I noticed over the last couple of months in your podcast you've been saying to people when they buy their first homes and giving them some advice, and I was wanting to see if I could get some advice from you. I am 25 years of age and I have been saving my money since I was 11 years old. Holy shit. 11 years of age, and I've managed to save a lot of money during my time as a child right up until now, where I'm now working full-time in business. Okay, fair enough. I work in finance, and I've been saving my money for quite a long time. I've been looking after my sick mum since my dad passed away when I was 14, and I've been saving every penny I can to eventually one day own my own home. I was wanting to see if you could give me some advice on whenever I buy my first home. Also, any tips as well on trying to save as much money as possible. And hopefully you can help me and point me in the right direction. Wow. Francis, that's crazy. You've been saving your money since you were 11. Do you know something? If you were a child, right, and you were saving all your pocket money every single week, right, and then you get your first job and you saved your money every single week, up until you were about 25, do you think about the money you'd have? Money gathers up right and quick now, guys, trust me. Advice on buying your first home. Well, obviously you've been saving quite a lot. Now, I don't know how much you've saved, but in this day and age, obviously you need a lot of money to put down a deposit for a house, which the deposits nowadays are a lot higher compared to what they were when I bought my first house back in 2005 or 4 or 5. Obviously, you've got your head head on your shoulders, you're switched on, you've been saving your money. Sorry to hear about your father. Obviously, you're looking after your mum and all now. I'm really sorry to hear about that. But, you want to obviously buy your own home. So, obviously, you've got your head screwed on. Me, personally, if I was in your situation, I would go and seek advice or look online or, because this depends on how much you have. Now, whether you're looking for an apartment or a 2-bedroom house, 3-bedroom house, whatever it is you're looking for, I don't know. Maybe you're going to be moving in with a girlfriend or a wife, or you're getting married or something. I don't know. My advice to you is always look at your options. Look around you and see what the best option suits you. Now, obviously with mortgages and stuff now, it's just an absolute, I'm going to be totally honest with you here, and I'm going to swear here, it's a complete clusterfuck now, to be honest with you, with all these mortgages and high interest rates and all the other crap that comes along with it. But at the end of the day, it just depends how much money you've saved for a deposit for your house and whatever else. But by the sounds of things, you've been saving since you were 11. That's a lot of fucking money. It depends, obviously, how much money you were getting back then and how much you're earning in your job now. I mean, if you're working, as you said, you're working finance, so you're probably getting a half-decent wage. But just look at all your different options that you have there. Research it before you decide to make a decision. And when you buy your first home, obviously do it your way. And try and budget. I mean, it just depends how much you have after you buy your first house, how much you're going to put into your home and stuff like that. Because I remember at times when I first bought my first house, I was struggling. I mean, to try and do different things and all that there. My first house I bought, I actually ended up getting a couple of thousand on top of the mortgage so I could come in and do the renovation work to the house, because the house didn't need very much work, but it needed modernising. So I put in new floors and fixed the kitchen up and new kitchen and all the bits and bobs I needed to get done. And it cost a few pennies, but it was worth it. So just sit down and look at all your different options that you have there, Francis, and obviously study what is best for you and what you need to do, and try and work it out from there. That's all I can really say to you. Just try and figure it out. What obviously the best option for you, and look at all the different options you have for mortgages as well. Because you just don't want to go in there all guns blazing and end up making the wrong bloody decision. You know what I mean? But hopefully that helps. Again, stay in touch. Let me know how you're getting on. But saving since you were 11, fair play to you, kid. You're like my Lewis. I always say about Lewis. Lewis is the type of person that will walk into a pound shop with a fiver, or walk into a pound shop with a fiver and come out with £20 worth of stuff. He's mustard. Loves saving money. I'm the same. I only spend money whenever I need to. People go out there now and just get their money and just blow it and crap. I don't. I only spend money when I need to. Hence why now I'm in a better position now than what I was 10 years ago. So, but good luck for the future anyway, and thanks for your email. I do appreciate it. Right, I want to get this ready now for the best part of the show I love every week, the Jackass of the Week segment. Okay, right, let's get into the favourite part of the episode every Thursday that I enjoy. It's now time for the Moore Army podcast Jackass of the Week segment. There he is, Boris the Donkey. How are you, Boris? A few candidates for this week, for Jackass of the Week. Obviously, a few of us have been getting in touch with me and stuff like that in relation to who you think should be Jackass of the Week. I was actually sitting here thinking before I went on the air today, maybe we should do a Jackass of the Year of the podcast next week for the anniversary show, and then obviously do a Jackass of the Week as well, as normal. But I'll have you think about it over the next few days. But yes, guys, a couple of candidates for this week for Jackass of the Week. Some of you were getting back to me again, suggesting the likes of Harry and Meghan again, and Sleepy Joe Biden, and some other people as well, which has been great to hear from all of you guys. A couple of ones that actually come in was the one that actually picked for the Jackass of the Week this week, because of obviously they're an absolute nightmare. But after consideration, come through all your suggestions, and obviously and the news and all around the world and stuff like that, and have a look around, mostly here mainly in the UK. But the Moore Army podcast Jackass of the Week for this week is, can I get a drum roll please? Thank you very much as always. The Moore Army podcast Jackass of the Week for this week is the mainstream British media. And you're probably thinking to yourself, why mainstream British media? Now here's the thing. The reason why I picked them is because of recent abuse towards footballer Harry Maguire. Now I know you're thinking, but Matthew, you're a Liverpool supporter, you should be laughing at him because he plays for Manchester United and stuff like that and whatever else. But I understand that Harry Maguire has been going through a bit of a tough period recently, and he gets a lot of videos made about it, about his mistakes and all the mess ups that he's been making. And the other night during England were playing Scotland, he scored an own goal by mistake. It obviously wasn't his fault, in my opinion. But the mainstream media and pundits especially have been giving Harry Maguire so much abuse over this last 2 or 3 days, which is absolutely horrendous. Some of the stuff that I've been seeing, especially on social media, is absolutely horrendous. And I was just reading this morning there that his mum has actually come out. Now you'll be thinking, he's a mama's boy and all that there. His mum's actually come out and made a statement saying that some of the comments and the things that have been aimed at Harry has been absolutely disgusting. Here's the thing, guys. I understand in football and sport and anything else in the world, people make mistakes and people take the piss and have a joke and a laugh and whatever else. Look, listen, I've been a victim of target abuse in local football here in Northern Ireland, which I hope to get to talk about one day here on the podcast. But Harry Maguire is getting an amount of abuse, which some of it's actually quite sickening, to be honest with you. And I would hate to see, I don't know how Harry puts up with it, but again, it's kind of like bully boy tactics, and it's crazy. And the mainstream media are giving this poor guy a lot of abuse. And, for you Liverpool fans there, you're probably thinking, it's Harry Maguire, he's a Man United player, who gives a shit and all that there. But see, at the end of the day, he's a human being. and nobody should be subject to that type of abuse. Some of the stuff that's been said about him over the last 48 hours, especially by the mainstream media, is absolutely disgusting. And okay, yes, he's going through a bit of a bad patch at the minute. Me personally, I think he should have left Manchester United in the summer to go to pastures new and obviously get a bit of a better break and obviously hopefully rejuvenate his career. But at the end of the day, no person, whether it be a sports person or a celebrity or whatever, should take that type of abuse. Because I know, obviously I wasn't getting it in local football to the level of Harry Maguire gets it, but I know what it's like to be receiving abuse, which is horrendous. I know obviously you're thinking, but you're just a media guy. But guys, I have stories I could tell you that would be shocking. But again, I understand when you're a professional footballer and you're getting all that amount of money and all, you do get your criticism and stuff, but then some people just don't know when to stop and take it too far. So I think this week's Jackass of the Week for this week should be the mainstream media, especially the football pundits as well, for giving the loads of dogs abuse towards Harry Maguire, which I think's okay. People can say like, oh, he's crap, he had a bad game, he made another mistake, blah blah blah. But some of the comments that I've been seeing are really targeting, and the fact that his own family's now come out and made a statement about it, saying it's disgusting and they should be, ashamed of themselves and stuff like that. At the end of the day, he's a human being, and he's trying to do his job and trying to earn a living, But in my opinion, the mainstream media should be the Jackass of the Week for this week, in my opinion. So if you have any other suggestions for Jackass of the Week for Tuesday's anniversary episode or any other future episodes, you can get in touch with me by social media and also the email, which is moorarmypodcast@yahoo.com. Guys, I'm going to go now and head down the road here and get my Thursday sorted and started. I hope you all have a great weekend. I'm going to try and get a couple of vlogs out over the next few days. I actually got presented a good idea the other day from Tony. So I did. About doing a vlog where, because he actually watches people in the States doing vlogs like this, where Lewis has an electric scooter, which you probably saw in my vlogs. I've used a couple of times to get to like football training and stuff like that. Tony says, why don't you just, because you've got a GoPro now, strap it on your chest or strap it on Lewis's chest and just go out for a drive on the scooter and just stroll around and just record what you're out and about doing and use it as a vlog and show people where you're going and what you're doing. And some people actually watch stuff like that, and I thought that's actually a good idea, so I might just do a wee vlog like that over the weekend, or even get Lewis to do it for me, because Lewis likes going out in the scooter for wee drives. So I said to him, maybe get a wee thing where we can just strap the GoPro to you and away you go. And he was like, yeah, Dad, no problem, cool, sounds good. But yeah, guys, hope you all have a great weekend out there. Don't forget, Tuesday's episode is the celebration episode. I'm going to be posting some photographs on social media over the next day or two as well. We actually ordered some new merchandise as well from the Mirror Army store. I ordered one of Lewis t-shirts, but I actually can't wait to get my hands on. His wee catchphrase he has, RY. Ordered a couple of hoodies as well, podcast hoodies and stuff. So guys, you can get your merchandise available on mirrorarmy.co.uk now for Mirror Army podcast merchandise, Mirror Army YouTube channel merchandise. And I'm hoping to be dropping some more designs over the next couple of days. I did drop a new design for a new different coloured logo for their t-shirt for the podcast, so you can go and get them on there now. Delivery times normally around about in the UK about 3 or 4 days maybe, so you do get them quite quick turnaround. So you want to get them on there as well. But yes, guys, Tuesday's episode is the anniversary episode, so any questions or anything you want to talk about on the podcast on Tuesday, let me know. Get in touch with me. I'd love to hear from you. So enjoy your weekend, guys. I'm going to go get my day finished up, have a cold beer tonight, chill out. May head out down to the town tonight like I talked about earlier, so if I am, stay tuned for photographs and stuff like that on my social media pages. If you're about the town tonight and I do see you, come up and say hi. Be nice to meet you. Don't send me a message 2 days later on Instagram saying you saw me in town. Come and say hello. I would appreciate it. So until next Tuesday, guys, have a great weekend. Enjoy your weekend. I will have plenty more to talk about on next week's episode. I may even try and get Brooke or somebody to come on with me next week to have a wee chat on the podcast. I would appreciate it if she did come on, because I was sent her by coming on to talk about different things from her perspective, from a young person's view perspective of things. So hopefully get her on for Tuesday's episode, fingers crossed. But anyway, yes, guys, have a great weekend, and until next Tuesday for the episode of the 1 year anniversary of the Mirror Army podcast, I will see you back here soon then for another episode of the Mirror Army podcast Unleashed. Have a great weekend, guys. See you all soon. Thanks for listening.